I'm going to show you what I do real quick for stretching. This thing is super amazing. Now this is good if you're starting to get sore in the legs. And I know back in the day to get that glute in there. The other side. And then the T band, which is your side of your. I don't know if I'm going to do that today because it's probably going to kill me. It's probably going to be super painful. Yeah. You know that area where you get kicked in the side and you get a Charlie horse? That's the muscle that we're targeting. Whew. Here we go. Full-fledged stretching exercise. Point the toe. Stretch your back. Knee chest. And then I readjust a little tighter. It's one of those exercises that always keep you in check to see how big your belly's getting. Because if you have a big belly, it's a little harder to do. Now I'm a static stretcher, so if this doesn't work for you, then obviously you could probably have your own set of stretching, but it's one of those ones that's always worked for me. I've never had any kind of issues static stretching. So what's funny is I know I've heard of all these techniques with different stretching and what to do, and I forgot to do the side. This it's good for your back. If you don't have any back pain, low back. Other side. Then your typical stretch that you learned in school. Hamstrings. Oh, my hamstrings are tight. This is another belly test exercise. Your belly's big. You can't go down as far. I can feel it. Getting a little cramp. I don't know why my abs cramp. It's not warmed up. All right. Now this, I don't know if people do these anymore for your quads. I do them and they feel great. But I know there's been, whenever I see people stretch, I never see them do this anymore. I don't know if it's bad for your knee or what, but it feels good to me. Now, as I'm doing this, I'm stretching my wrists, and we'll do a wrist stretch too. Other side. Oh, whenever I did these, I always go and lean to the back or lean to the front and kind of stretch my chest. I think yoga stretching is one of the best if you guys are into yoga. Now, let's see if I can do this while I'm still in camera. Let's take a look here. Oh, yeah, that's not going to work. All right. So, I think I learned this from PX90. You guys remember PX90? And it was the wrist stretch. Well, I learned it. Was it PX90? It could have been someone else. Anyways, you're stretching your wrists because your wrists are one of the key components when you're lifting. And so we do side to side, and then we'll flip it in, and we're just gently rocking, and then we'll flip it over. I knew a guy, an old friend of mine, would do push-ups like this, and he said he learned it in his martial art class. Child pose, or whatever this is called. And then we go into cobra. I'm probably going to be off camera for this one. How do we get hair in our ears? Why do men grow hair in their ears? What's up with that? Do we already have hair and we just don't know it? So we do calves. Now, most likely, if you can make it a habit of stretching every day, based on things that I've heard, it's supposed to help longevity when you're old. Remember these? Cat cow. And then your glutes, whatever this is called, where you bring in your knee and you feel it in your quad and your glute. 10 seconds. Hamstrings. What's nice about if you have a mat, what I like to do is kind of lean forward, grab the edge, and pull, and I can feel it. Now, if you progressively do these, probably within, if you do this every day on the days you work out, I guarantee you by the end of 30 days, your elbows will touch the floor. You'll be able to touch the floor. I cannot touch my elbows to the floor without pulling. But this is typically the stretch I do in the very beginning before I work out, just to get the body moving. Oof. Get the blood flowing. My ankle still hurts. I'm not fall. Side to side. All right. This stretch is pretty cool. Helps my shoulders. I learned this from Athlete X. I'm just working my ankle. So you pull your arm behind your head, pull. It gets your trap, but I can feel it in my shoulder. And it just needs to stretch. Other side. Yeah, we're gonna go this way. Stretch out our calf. I'm only doing ankle rolls because of my ankle hurts, but it's a good stretch. Something's going on with my ligament. I think it's true. What they say is when you injure yourself when you're older, it's harder to recover. So I rolled my ankle probably about a month ago, and I can still feel at certain angles, like it doesn't hurt to walk on it, but when I twist it, I can feel it. And this always felt good. And I watched a video about fixing your shoulder pain, physical therapist. I can remember, I'll link that in the show notes. Pretty good stuff. Because I don't know, when you bench, sometimes I get a pain in my shoulder. And I don't know if that's just from being old, because I don't remember that when I was younger. But I think it's warming up is always good. Let me go this way. Let me get that. I do that on the side. So that's it. That's the basics of my stretching, and that should get you started before you start working out.